Good evening, Andrew. Thank you for joining us after this 2-0 defeat at home to Coleshill Town, pre-season friendly. It seemed quite disjointed tonight, but what would you put that down to?
Some players not being here for one reason or the other, just some illnesses, and trying out new things with some players. So looking at players, giving players a chance. Obviously, we've got lads here who've been here ages and they know what we do. Some players obviously are new to the group, so we've got to integrate them. So when we make them changes, and you make 4 or 5, then it's going to be disjointed at times. And also sometimes when you get in a trialist, and if they've not trained with you and they don't know your philosophy, it can sort of break up what you're doing. Just sometimes when you have one player missing can break the fluidity of your team. And also sometimes it's just the mindset. Coleshill come to play like it's a cup final, and sometimes when you do that, a bit like when we played West Brom last week, the team what's supposedly in pre-season sometimes don't turn up with the correct not mindset in terms of the tossing off or anything, but it's just a case of they might turn up thinking like they're going through pre-season, if that makes sense. It's like a building thing, whereas Coleshill have got like it's an actual league game mentality because their players are trying to prove a point and the club is and whatnot. So I think it's a combination of both. Not that any of our players, don't put the right appetite in, because they do, but it's just when you come into a game sometimes you're really up for the game. Like when you play West Brom and you know you've got to turn up, whereas sometimes you think you might just drop sort of your levels a little bit, if you like, as a collective. But the biggest one for me is when you make loads of changes and you're trying out things, you're going to get that in pre-season sometimes. Whereas at West Brom we put out a collective team, what a regular and obviously seen performance.
Well, obviously pre-season is about trying things.
Yeah.
You certainly did that tonight. What were a bit of positives that you feel you can take from the performance?
For me, it was the first 60 minutes and the last 30 minutes. The last 30 minutes resembled our philosophy in terms of how we play, the regains, and the flow of the game. Once we started doing that, and there was some energy. I thought Tony Parker come on and offered energy. I thought Lucas Yeomans came on and offered energy. I thought that once we got into our shape and the mindset to win the ball back was quicker, and we made more sprints and high tempo sprints, then that was really positive to highlight to the boys that when you stick to your philosophy of how you play, what you do, you control the game or you get results. When you go away from your philosophy and what you do, then sometimes you lose that sort of control or balance in the game. So that was a really eye opener for the boys. But also is that the lads getting some minutes under their legs again. Lads haven't played since November, obviously, and some lads even longer because of what's happened. So sometimes it's just the lads getting them angles and distances right in the football pitch right again and building the relationships.
It was great to see Dan Creaney back playing again, not just tonight obviously, but so far in pre-season after being out with such a lengthy injury. Yeah. But it was obvious to us to see that we seem to have more an attacking threat in the second half. You mentioned the last 30 minutes there, but that was directly through Dan Creaney.
Yeah, Dan's obviously understands our philosophy. He knows what we're doing. I'm glad for the lad that he's got back and he's getting He's got minutes. He's played. He's hardly played any games because of his injury and because of obviously COVID. So across the country, so getting him back on the pitch is excellent. And he's a little bit rusty, but he still offers a lot to the team in terms of what he does. But for me, it was some of the changes that we made, the energy that we brought, a focal point. When he come on in the second half, I thought he does what Dan does sort of. But the team mindset and philosophy was more Tamworth. That was a major change. The pressing in the second half was so much quicker.
Any fresh injury concerns from tonight's game? Because obviously pre-season you do pick up niggles, and also when are we likely to see Mikey Taylor and Shaq McDonald?
Yeah, no injuries. The lads have been really, really good in managing themselves. Great group in terms of that. In terms of managing their bodies and letting you know and being honest and open, which is great. Mikey Taylor, Mikey Taylor should be back for the next game that we play after, and he should be back in training this week. Shaq McDonald was hoping to get some minutes, but unfortunately, due to some off the field things that Shaq's been around the boys, but we're not able to get him out there at the moment. Just some off the field things. Which we're going through some personal things to himself. So hopefully when they're sorted out, he'll be back and he'll be back playing with us. But obviously he's here and around the lads, and Mikey were really positive that he'll be back in for the next game.
Okay, well, no game this Saturday, so a chance for a training session, I presume. On to next Tuesday for the visit of Halzo in town, which I guess really what I want to ask is, which elements of the performance do you want to improve on that game?
Out of ball, when we ain't got the ball, the mindset, the appetite, the philosophy in terms of how we go and win it back. That's the biggest one. That sets the tone for what we do, and it's very hard to play against. So the mindset around that, that'd be the biggest thing for me. But also is for the lads to get more minutes and more games under the belt. That's important. We can't be harsh on lads in terms of they've missed so long. It's a big thing, and that's happening across non-league, where you'll get some games in pre-season where you're very good and some dips as you do in pre-season, but more so now. So the lads, we're quite happy with the way they started in training and the games in general. To say they've been off so long, some of them have come back really, really good, and some of them are finding their feet. And like you said, with Dan Queenie and some players who've been out long, we're great to have them back. So it's a work in progress.
Absolutely. Thank you as always, Andrew, for your time. We'll catch up with you again soon.
No worries.